there, Mara here. And it's been about 2 weeks since I had my surgery done, and I figured I was going to do a video and talk about it a little bit. Now, I have to wear these guards on my nose to allow me to wear glasses. I'm going to take it off for the moment, so I'm not going to be able to see anything, but that's not going to really matter all that much for this video. So on June 4th, about 2 weeks ago, I went in to get facial surgery done. I had my rhinoplasty actually done, and a partial brow lift and a blepharoplasty. And what these are is my nose was restructured to make it straighter. It looks quite different, actually, even though it's a little swollen. Even when it's swollen up, it still looks smaller than it used to. And the little guards I have actually make it look bigger too. And the blepharoplasty made it so that my eyelids no longer droop as much as they used to. And then the part that actually isn't that noticeable yet is the brow lift, because what they did is they shaved some of the brow bone here and then attached the skin. And it's going to heal over time and slowly have my eyebrows migrate up. And that'll be interesting. It's already been noticeable, and it just looks a little strange right now. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the results that we ended up getting. And I wanted to share some images and some video that we took during this process. So at this point, I do need to warn you, I swear a little bit in these videos because I'm in a lot of pain, and they've got blood in them and swelling and whatnot. So yeah, I find the entire thing fascinating, but I understand if somebody does not want to watch this or look at this or whatever, you want to stop now. That's what the rest of this is going to be, is just showing the progress up until now and what I've looked like each day for the first few days and the healing process. So we're going to start from the day of. The day of the surgery, I went in, I was accompanied by my girlfriend Olivia and my wife Lauren, and a friend of mine named James took us to Seattle, about 40 minutes away, to go to the Virginia Mason there to get the work done by Dr. Flaherty, and who did an astonishing job. Like I said, I'm very happy with the job that was done. But it's interesting, when we went in, it was at 6 in the morning, and normally I'm such a night person. I'm normally up until 2 in the morning. I try to get to bed early. That didn't work very well. So if you do all of your math and go back in time, we had to wake up at about 4 in the morning to be able to make it there at 6. And let's just say we were exhausted, all of us. I was very sleepy. So as they were preparing everything for the surgery, the anesthesiologist came out, and I had the IV attached, but I was just on the initial, they have a bed that you start out on, and then they will move you over to another one for the actual surgery. I was in the initial bed. They put the anesthesiologist put the very first drug that I was going to have in and said, "You're going to feel a little loopy from this." And a moment later, I woke up and the surgery was over. It put me out like right away. I am not entirely certain how long everything took, but I went in around 6 and I got out around 3:30. And I know it took at least a couple of hours before the surgery got started, and they said it was an hour and a half for me to recover. So it'd be about 8 when they got started with the surgery, and maybe it was around 1 to 2 when the surgery actually completed. So it was a good 6-ish hour surgery. I have no memory of anything in between, even immediately after. When I first got up, I looked like this video that I'm going to be showing here.
That is it. Oh, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hurt. A lot. A lot. And the drugs really were not allowing me to think very well. It felt like a real fight to be able to just think of anything coherently past the drugs and the pain. And they almost immediately gave me some oxycodone, which affects me very strongly. It doesn't actually alleviate the pain so much for me, but it really makes me even more loopy. So I was very out of it.
Watch out, City. It's a step. You're doing good.
We're gonna go on a decline, okay? I got you.
But
Left, right.
considering what I looked like, it's not like I could have seen because I couldn't open my eyes. My eyelids were very, very swollen. And this actually persisted for several days. But one thing that's interesting is they had these bandages up under my nose to hold for the stitches, that I actually still have some stitches here. And that was held on by a mask, like just one of those simple masks they give you at the hospital. And that was it. So when we took it off, the bandages just came off, and we just kept the area clean after that. We did actually have a couple more, but that was like the most singular most painful part of the entire thing, was the mask holding the bandages up there. So I didn't keep it on for very long. Thankfully, it was very painful. So Dr. Flaherty told me after the surgery that they had to completely fracture my nose and reconstruct it to get the bone to actually go straight, and to fix the septum to straighten it out. And apparently there was a hole in my mucosa that they also corrected. There were these long plastic tubes in my nose to hold everything from the inside to help the bone heal, and there was a cast on the outside. And at 8 days in, I had to go in to see them and actually have a video of a nurse using a tool, it's kind of like a needle nose plier, to pull the sutures that were holding the plastic tubes in my nose, pull them out. And unfortunately, my wife didn't get a picture of how long these things were, but they were pretty long, about 2 to 3 inches long. I had no idea they were that long. I could tell there was stuff stuffed up my nose, but I couldn't tell that.
A little better.
Yeah, I can breathe. Yay!
Yay.
Anyways, so for the first 3 days, I really couldn't see. My eyes were very, very swollen. I regularly put ice on them to help the swelling go down. I had to be taken care of because I could barely see. Even what little I could see, when I could open my left eye, my right eye couldn't open for the entire time. It wasn't until like day 3 or 4 I was able to open that eye. Everything was a blur. My eyes couldn't focus very well. There's a reason why they tell you not to try to do stuff on your computer or on a cell phone or whatnot if you're going to be getting the blepharoplasty done, because you're not going to see. And it was interesting. It wasn't a good time at all. As I said, I was on a lot of pain. They gave me something called Celebrex to take for the first 3 days because they didn't want me to take any blood thinners. Normally, the best pain medicine for me is ibuprofen. They gave me Celebrex. They told me to alternate that with acetaminophen, and they gave me some oxycodone to take home, which, as I've mentioned before, it just makes me loopy. It doesn't actually help much. The Celebrex made it feel like half of the pain was taken and turned into this odd swirling sensation, and the acetaminophen kind of sort of did a little bit. So it was very painful. It was very unpleasant, and if the results weren't great, I would not have been remotely happy with what that took. After that, I continued resting on the 4th day, and on the 5th day, which was Sunday, I finally started using these rhino shields. You put them on your nose right after you have nose surgery to be able to protect your newly formed cartilage and bone, and you could actually wear glasses on top of it. Now, my nose has always been sensitive to my glasses as it is. Now they're like extra sensitive to it. I have to take this off and rest my nose on occasion. But really, I'm just glad to have all of that done. I'm glad I got the surgery done, and I'm really looking forward to further healing. Everything's still swelling and whatnot, and they say it will be 6 to 12 months before the swelling stops. So you can't, I don't know if you can see right now. I mean, you probably have no idea compared to my older images, but my nose has shrunk a lot. And even though it's kind of swollen right now, it still looks smaller than it used to. I'm going to show more comparison images later after the swelling goes down enough that I could take regular pictures, especially do things like the angles and whatnot. But like the straightness of it, at least from my perspective, is very, very noticeable. And I'm excited to see how it's going to look. Anyways, I just wanted to give a bit of an update at this point, show some horrifying pictures of me recovering, and just share that with everybody and move on with things. I've got more healing to do. So, hope this was interesting. Goodbye, everybody.